Well, that was a cool little last little flourish that he did.
Oh yeah, that's classic Monk. He's got about six different endings in D flat that he does, and those were three of them,
Yeah.
all at the same time.
Well, also here we've got the virtuosity. I mean, with both these Monk tunes, and for both musicians, the virtuosity of note choice. You know,
Yeah.
where
Yeah, well, that's built into the composition too, and Monk's showing you how to do it through the writing.
yeah,
With the, it's not just a G minor seven; it's a G minor seven voiced like this. With this as an alternate note that sets it off that way, and it's all done on purpose. That's the genius of Monk.
yeah, and that was
Uh,
the second
and
part.
some of the chords sound so weird, when you look at them. Like there's this weird B7 with the flat nine and a B flat seven with a flat nine. He plays a E triad or E7 on top, and then he goes to A whole tone at the end, and then he goes to A flat and plays like weird resonant A natural against A flat, and all of a sudden you end up on a beautiful, almost like Debussy style D flat chord with 6/9, 6/9, 6/9, and then the Lydian flourish at the end that you were talking about, and then he goes on the bottom
Right.
and plays that low D flat all the way at the bottom of the piano. You're like, that's just genius, man. I've been copying this shit for years. I love it so much. And one thing I wanted to bring up, he did in the last song too. They do the classic. Very often they're going to do the classic ballad arrangement because you don't want to play too many choruses at the death tempo. It gets boring. You don't want to overstate the A section melody too many times because it's like, yeah, we already heard that 5 times.
Right.
So what they do is they play AABA song form, then one guy solos, usually a half chorus, maybe sometimes a full chorus if he's real good like Train. Then Monk comes in with a half chorus, and Monk makes the cue, bridge out. So then everybody comes back in with the melody on the bridge, so you don't play the A section too many times. And then you do the A section one last time, outro, end. That goes way back. All the old guys used to do that. That's part of the ballad. I call it the ballad presentation. It's like a way of presenting this ultra romantic, hyper romantic ballad presentation.
Mm.
And it's tight. It's very, I don't know if they rehearsed it a lot, but it's something that they all did a lot together, and it's a thing. It's a real, like, it's a jam session thing. You think of jam sessions as always being medium up tempos where guys could wiggle their fingers a lot and compete with one another, musically, sparring and all that. But man, that ballad thing, that's a thing, especially on tenors.
Yeah. So that's Thelonious Monk and John Coltrane playing those unique Monk compositions, quirky and mysterious, but still in that ballad tradition. And now we move to an album of John Coltrane's, still from 1957, called Lush Life, and named after the famous song. And the first cut we're going to hear, though, is Like Someone in Love. And at the time, it was a popular song composed by Jimmy Van Heusen with lyrics by Johnny Burke. And it was written along with Sleigh Ride in July, which became a Christmas jazz standard, for the 1944 film Belle of the Yukon.
Big smashing success.
Where it was sung by Dinah Shore. It was a hit for Bing Crosby in 1945, and after that became a jazz standard. So, like,
did these jazz guys get it from the radio, like listening to the singers sing it, or did they go to these shows?
That's a really good question. I would bet that since this was a radio hit that reached number 15 on the charts.
Yeah, okay.
That's maybe where you'd first hear it.
Now I've heard a lot about like legendary stories of Errol Garner going to all kinds of Broadway show premieres and blowing everybody's mind by memorizing every tune immediely, like Mozart style.
Wow.
And having them all ready to go in any key the next day. You're just like, how the fuck do you do that?
Wow.
I know.
Easy for him.
Could be musical legend. Yeah, right, maybe. I don't know. Could be musical legend, but I love that. I love stories like that.
Yeah. Well, again, New York, Broadway, this was popular entertainment back then. And
Eh, Right, you didn't really have too much TV was like a new thing. It hadn't siphoned off the audience to boring TV yet, right?
yeah, yes.
Like if you wanted entertainment, you had to go out.
Yeah, exactly. Go hear music,
You
go
weren't
see
at your
plays.
home movie theater at the house streaming shit like you are now, right?
Yeah, but I think when you combine the recordings and the shows and stuff, it's also just kind of in the zeitgeist, right? It's in the air. It's a major part of the culture. Where now Broadway is an exclusive thing. You have to have $800 to get a ticket to go see Hamilton.
Oh my God, right.
And so, but back in the days, movies, which were then often made from the musicals, it was cheap to get into a movie theater back then. And that was the whole point of
Right.
movies, was to keep the price low and
Yeah.
give the common man, the everyday man, a really high class experience. Um,
Yeah, baseball comes to mind too, right? That was like the people's entertainment. You're supposed to bring your sandwiches and radishes for $1 and go watch a baseball
right?
game.
Yeah, bring the whole family. It didn't cost
Yeah,
$1,000,
now it costs hundreds of dollars.
if not thousands, to go see a game. Yeah. So anyway, over the years, this is obviously a popular song for singers. You've got Ella Fitzgerald, Perry Como, Sarah Vaughan, also covered by Frank Sinatra, always. You've got Charles Mingus, Bud Powell, Johnny Mathis. And it was kind of a signature tune for Art Blakey. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm on Lush Life, right? No, this
Yeah,
one. Yeah, Like Someone in Love. Yeah.
No, Art Blakey.
Yeah.
It was, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, my experience with this, with Like Someone in Love, this is one of those standards that you're expected to know,
Right.
and you're most likely going to be asked to play it in A flat or F, because Stan Getz, Sonny Rollins, Train, Art Blake, just go down the whole fucking list. Everybody plays this song. This is one of the standards that's top standards that everybody plays. So, and once again, Train is he's giving it a unique. There's something unique about how Train does. He does it a little slower. It's a little bit more, I don't know, mysterious. And the reason why I picked this, he puts on a freaking tour de force of like, spelling out the bebop harmony on the saxophone with your lines. Linear bebop conception is masterful here. I used to when I was first getting down with Train, really getting down with Train. This was my fall asleep record. I'd put this record on, lay down with headphones on, and this was I don't know if it was the first track on the record, but it was certainly the first track on my cassette tape back in the day. And it just used to move me how there's no piano on it. It's just Earl May, Art Taylor, and Train, and there's something so spare and delicious about it without the piano kind of making the vertical harmony. And this is just the way the two lines are going. And Earl May, I don't know whatever happened to that guy, but I really love his playing on this album.
Now, I know what instrument is he playing?
He's playing
Bass.
bass.
Yeah, that's a name I'm not familiar
Yeah.
with. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like he's one of my him and Carl Brown are my like two secret weapon bass players that are on one record and nobody's heard of them. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
Carl Brown's on the Steve Lacy record with Don Cherry called Evidence, which I've been stealing off that record for over 30 years. I love that record, and part of it's because Carl Brown is playing gut strings and it sounds eerie. It sounds very eerie. You're not sure what notes they are all the time. It doesn't matter. It's just so eerie. And Billy Higgins and him are hooking up, making this. I don't know if it was the dope that day, but man, they're getting an eerie feeling in their music. That's so gold.
Okay, but we're going to turn back to Coltrane and
To Earl May.
it's in the ballad, the classic standard, like "Someone in Love," from the album Coltrane album "Lush Life."